He did not follow the heavens. He devoured them. When the thunder celestial realm opened, every cultivator waited obediently for celestial thunder to guide them beyond the void. It had been so for countless ages, an unspoken law of the stars. But on that day, beneath a sky split by stormlight, one man chose not to be led. Instead, he reached up and swallowed the lightning whole. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, please consider supporting us through the donation. It really motivates us to keep creating. A vast formation wrought from celestial jades hovered above the boundless desert on the northwestern reaches of planet Ching Lling. From afar, it resembled a fallen constellation, its lines intricate and luminous against the desolation below. At its heart sat Wang Lin. He folded his legs and closed his eyes, sinking into cultivation. With every measured breath, the heavens seemed to inhale and exhale with him. Streams of celestial spiritual energy surged inward, drawn into his body in great tides. Breath after breath, cycle after cycle, the energy gathered within him, compressing, refining, slowly condensing into something purer, denser, more profound. The peak of the late Ascendant stage was not an unreachable myth, yet it remained a summit only a rare few could stand upon. The obstacle was neither domain nor celestial jades. It was origin energy. If the origin energy fused into one's origin soul was insufficient upon reaching the Ascendant stage, then even if one stepped into that realm, the peak would forever remain beyond reach. And if one had once possessed enough origin energy, but suffered damage to the origin soul, losing that precious fusion, then the summit would slip away just the same. Origin energy was the true key to the completion of the first step of cultivation. Worse still, Ascendant cultivators could not replenish origin energy from heaven and earth. Once diminished, it was nearly impossible to restore. It was only natural, then, that so few could reach the absolute peak. After cultivating within the Thunder Lake, Wang Lin had pushed his origin soul to its utmost capacity. He had reached the limit of origin energy. It could contain the bare minimum required to touch completion. With his domain refined and tempered, it began to propel his cultivation forward. As he absorbed celestial spiritual energy, he advanced steadily toward the peak of the late Ascendant stage. Yet the amount of energy required to complete the first step was terrifying beyond measure. A full year passed. The celestial jades around him crumbled one by one, drained to dust. When the last fragment dimmed and shattered, Wang Lin did not hesitate. He produced celestial liquid and drank deeply. The liquid flowed into him, carrying with it an overwhelming intoxication. A faint white mist rose from his body, fragrant with the scent of wine, drifting across the desert like ghostly vapor. Within him, the celestial liquid erupted into an ocean of spiritual energy. It was like a colossal force, a raging torrent pushing his cultivation forward with unstoppable momentum, driving him toward the peak. To complete with a single thought, to have celestial spiritual energy move in harmony with one's aura. Such was the description of the peak of the late Ascendant stage. A flawless domain, an unshakable Tao heart, a body brimming with celestial spiritual energy, so saturated that even one's mere presence seemed infused with heaven's essence. 19 years and 8 months after arriving on planet Qingling, Wang Lin stepped into that realm. When he broke through, every celestial jade within countless kilometers turned to powder. Across the once barren land, green shoots pierced the sand. Life spread outward in quiet defiance of the desert, as if heaven itself acknowledged his ascension. Wang Lin slowly opened his eyes. Within them the heavens seemed to revolve. After 1,000 years of cultivation, I have finally reached completion. A long breath escaped his lips. At its end, a faint smile curved the corner of his mouth. 1,000 years ago, he had been nothing more than a minor disciple of the Hengyue sect, a nameless figure among countless others. Now he stood at the pinnacle of the first step, having even surpassed Zhuquezi. If those on planet Suzaku could witness this moment, none would dare believe it. He did not rise immediately. Instead, he touched his bag of holding. A golden celestial brush appeared in his hand, radiant and dignified. Holding it lightly, he began to draw before him. His wrist moved with effortless grace as though dancing through empty air. In the past, 7 strokes had been his limit. Now he completed 7 in a single breath, fluid, seamless, before continuing without pause. The 8th stroke descended. Brilliant light erupted from the rune. Its radiance was dazzling, capable of stealing the mind of any who gazed upon it. The power of 8 strokes surpasses 7 by an entire realm, Wang Lin murmured softly. At that moment he seemed less a cultivator and more a wandering scholar beneath moonlight, calm, refined, inscrutable. He put the brush away. The rune dissolved, and the divine sense he had divided into it flowed back into his body. Rising to his feet, Wang Lin took a single step. He vanished. Half a month later, a bolt of thunder tore free from planet Ching and shot into the starry sky. Upon the back of the thunder beast sat Wang Lin, eyes closed, silent as stone. Across the planet, cultivators lifted their heads. In their eyes lingered awe and relief. It was as though an invisible pressure that had blanketed the world for 20 years finally dissipated as he departed. Before leaving, Wang Lin had harvested every celestial ascension fruit grown over the past decade. Another wave of resentment had also gathered. With its addition, the underworld river soul within him showed faint signs of awakening. Thunder streaked through the cosmos. After 20 years, Wang Lin left Lling, his temporary cave abode. Once he acquired a thunder furnace, he would return. Entering the thunder celestial realm from here would be far safer. As the thunder beast cleaved through space, Wang Lin opened his eyes, lost in contemplation. To enter the thunder celestial realm, a thunder furnace was indispensable. Without it, entry was impossible. Yet the all-heaven star system differed from the Alliance. Thunder furnaces were not scattered randomly. For reasons unknown, they manifested collectively within the Thunder Celestial Temple. From there, they were distributed in fixed numbers to cultivation families. 3 months remained until the realm would open. That was when each family would receive its furnaces. A glint flashed through Wang Lin's eyes. "If I do not have a thunder furnace," he said calmly, "then I shall take one." His hand lightly patted the thunder beast's head. The beast let out a pleased roar, lightning crackling along its body. In truth, he could seek Shen Gonghu and obtain one with ease. But Shen Gonghu's cultivation was unfathomable. Too many encounters might expose him. Unless absolutely necessary, Wang Lin preferred not to approach that man. Not all who entered the Thunder Celestial Realm had stepped into the second stage. Such cultivators were rare. Most were between soul transformation and Ascendant. In the southern domain of the all-heaven star system, guided by the jade Shen Gonghu had left behind, Wang Lin located a cultivation planet. He did not bother to learn the names of its 2 ruling families. Each time the realm opened, they received 1 or 2 furnaces. More importantly, neither possessed an expert beyond the peak of the late Ascendant stage. After arriving, Wang Lin swept the planet with his divine sense. The 2 family heads were absent. He drifted quietly among the stars, eyes closed, waiting. 1 month before the realm's opening, more than 10 streaks of light shot toward him like meteors. Among them, 1 cultivator had reached the illusory yin stage. The rest ranged from Ascendant to soul transformation. They halted abruptly upon noticing Wang Lin. The illusory yin cultivator was an elderly man with silver hair and sharp, gleaming eyes. Yet the origin energy within him was sparse and unstable. It was clear he had only recently broken through. He stepped forward, studying Wang Lin carefully. "Why has Lord Messenger come to planet Zhengtan?" he asked cautiously. Wang Lin opened his eyes. A faint crease formed between his brows, though his expression remained serene. "Have you returned from collecting the thunder furnaces?" The old man's face shifted subtly. "That is correct. What does Lord Messenger require?" "I need a thunder furnace." The old man stared at him for a long moment, then laughed. A trace of arrogance colored his voice. "During my visit to the Thunder Celestial Temple, I heard rumors of someone impersonating a messenger. I dismissed them as nonsense. But today," his eyes sharpened, "I see the truth. You are a fraud." "Oh." Wang Lin's tone was calm, almost indifferent. "Every messenger commands subordinate families. Obtaining a furnace would be trivial. Moreover, I know every messenger in the southern domain, and you are a stranger. Most importantly, all messengers are currently gathered at the temple. None would leave before the realm opens. Wang Lin nodded faintly. He had no interest in further debate. The shadow behind him stirred. The celestial guard stepped forth, its presence cold and overwhelming. With a single stride, it charged fist roaring through the void with thunderous sonic booms. The old man's expression changed drastically. He had assumed Wang Lin was merely at the peak of late Ascendant, and that even the Thunder Beast was an illusion. He had not anticipated such a puppet. Snorting coldly, he formed seals. Black flames erupted from his palm and burst outward, scattering into countless sparks that surrounded the area. The family members had already retreated far away. The celestial guard ignored the flames. They clung to its body, yet it neither slowed nor faltered. It accelerated, instead its fist tearing through space as it arrived before the old man. The punch landed. A flame shield manifested just in time but shattered instantly under the blow. Explosions echoed across the stars. The old man staggered back, face pale. The puppet was forced back several steps as well, black flames creeping along its arm. "I only want a thunder furnace," Wang Lin repeated calmly. The old man hesitated. To yield outright would cost his family face. Yet that puppet alone rivaled his strength. Wang Lin's patience wore thin. He summoned a mountain stone. It expanded into a towering peak, radiating dense celestial energy and ancient pressure. His palm pressed down, drawing forth the mountain soul as a swirling fog. The old man's face drained of color. Soul extraction spell. How can you wield such power at the first step's peak? Wang Lin said nothing. The fog surged forward. At the same time, he advanced lightning gathering in his hand, forming a true bolt of thunder. In that instant, he resembled a celestial sovereign of storms. Forced to desperation, the old man opened a third eye upon his brow, crimson and grotesque. Blood and origin energy surged toward it. A red beam erupted, fanning outward. The mountain's soul began to disintegrate beneath its light. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Without hesitation, he hurled the lightning. The old man could not sustain the spell. 3 breaths later, the third eye snapped shut. Lightning and the remnants of the mountain's soul closed in. Grinding his teeth, the old man produced an object and raised it high. In a flash, Wang Lin seized it. The thunder furnace. He stored it away but did not leave. Instead, he regarded the old man thoughtfully, a strange glimmer in his eyes. "Would you be willing," Wang Lin asked slowly, "to exchange the spell you just used for something of mine?" The old man let out a cold snort as he retreated, sleeves billowing in the star wind. "I stepped into the illusory yin stage only 2 years ago," he said icily. "Give me a few more years to consolidate, and no matter how many treasures you possess, you would not be this old man's match." Wang Lin withdrew the scattered mountain soul with a casual wave, the drifting wisps folding back into the stone as though nothing had occurred. His expression remained tranquil. "I am speaking with you about an exchange," he said evenly. "This spell for mine." The old man sneered. "Don't even think about it. You've already taken the thunder furnace. Leave at once." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed slightly. He raised his right hand. A ray of black light shot forth. The instant it appeared, the old man felt a chill run down his spine, as if an invisible hand had brushed across his lifespan itself, threatening to strip it away. The black light streaked toward the cultivation planet below and vanished into a vast plain. The old man's divine sense pursued it at once. He saw the light descend, and in the next breath the vegetation across the plain withered. Lush grasses shriveled into grey husks. Trees cracked and collapsed. Then from that dying land, countless strands of vitality tore free, rising like pale threads of life, streaming upward into Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin lowered his hand. "This spell," he said calmly, "is called the Finger of Death." The old man snorted. "Had I not reached the illusory yin stage, it might have barely caught my eye. But now, worthless." Though his voice was dismissive, his heart trembled. It was not the destructive force that unsettled him. It was the absorption of vitality, that tyrannical plundering of life itself. Wang Lin lifted his hand again. This time, demonic aura gathered at his fingertip, dark, dense, and violent. It shot forward like a black arrow and halted before the old man suspended in the void. This, Wang Lin continued, is the demonic finger. It converts celestial spiritual energy into demonic energy. Used together with the finger of death, the effect is even more profound. The old man stared at the black aura before him, silent. He extended his hand, grasped it, and examined it with divine sense. Time passed. The stars seemed to dim around them. Finally, he looked up. Rumor says the cultivators of planet Dongling excel in demonic aura techniques. So you are from Dongling? His eyes sharpened. Even so, this spell remains worthless. Wang Lin did not respond immediately. He remembered that in the past, what had drawn Situ Nan's deepest interest was not these spells, but the underworld finger. After a moment of contemplation, Wang Lin's gaze brightened. This final spell, he said slowly, was taught to me by a senior of the Nirvana Shatterer realm. If it still does not interest you, then we shall let this matter rest. At his silent command, the celestial guard behind him transformed into a streak of golden light and shot toward the cultivation planet. The old man's expression darkened. Moments later, the puppet returned, clutching a ferocious beast in its iron grip. The creature's body was covered in jagged thorns, its fangs still clamped around the severed arm of a mortal, blood dripping into the void. It had been feeding when seized. Wang Lin raised two fingers, forming a sword. He had not used the celestial slaughter art in a long time. The countless strands of slaughter energy he had painstakingly gathered over a century ago had been consumed in battle, stored within the puppet and expended in a single devastating clash. Yet his understanding of the art remained profound. He focused. Sword energy condensed at his fingertips, sharp, cold, absolute. It pierced the beast. A wretched howl tore from its throat. Before the old man's widening eyes, the creature withered in an instant. Flesh shrank, blood evaporated, and within breaths it became nothing but a bleached skeleton drifting in space. From its corpse a strand of grey gas emerged, thin, sinister, heavy with slaughter. It coiled around Wang Lin's fingers. He flicked his hand. The grey gas floated outward. With another gesture it twisted and reshaped, forming a seal intricate and faintly luminous before drifting toward the old man. This, Wang Lin said quietly, is the celestial slaughter art. The old man was visibly moved. He caught the seal and examined it carefully. The longer he probed, the more astonishment filled his eyes. With his cultivation, he quickly discerned its nature. The life seal possessed defensive properties, while the grey slaughter energy carried offense. Though not overwhelmingly powerful on its own, it could clearly be accumulated, stored, layered, multiplied. This life seal, Wang Lin continued, is formed through slaughter, gathering vitality through killing, then weaving that vitality into protection. The more seals one forms, the stronger the defense. The senior who taught me this once said that if one possessed 1 trillion life seals, even if a cultivation planet collapsed, one would remain unscathed. He spoke truthfully. Those had indeed been the words of the grey-robed all-seer. For the first time, hesitation appeared openly on the old man's face. This was no ordinary technique. Its profundity was evident, and the claim that it originated from a Nirvana Shatterer senior carried weight. Yet the third eye spell was his family's inheritance. Its origins were obscure, something his ancestors had obtained by chance. In the Alliance star system, such a technique would never remain in a single family's hands. But in the All-Heaven star system, clans guarded their legacies fiercely. More importantly, he was the first in generations to successfully cultivate it. Wang Lin waited. When the old man remained silent, still wavering, Wang Lin sighed softly and flicked his sleeve. Since fellow cultivator is unwilling, we shall forget this matter. He stepped onto the thunder beast. With a roar and a burst of lightning, it turned and shot into the distance, the celestial guard following like a golden comet. The life seal in the old man's hand crumbled into ash. As it dispersed, Something in his chest twisted violently, like watching a treasure that should have belonged to him vanish forever. His expression shifted. "Fellow cultivator, wait," he shouted, teeth clenched. "I will exchange it for the celestial slaughter art, the finger of death and the demonic finger." Wang Lin halted. The thunder beast turned mid-flight and stopped 100 feet away. Lightning crackled from its nostrils, its gaze filled with faint disdain. The old man swallowed his pride. "I agree," he said heavily, "but you must swear not to spread this technique to others." Wang Lin nodded without hesitation. He withdrew 3 jade slips, recorded the spells within them, and tossed them over calmly, utterly unafraid of treachery. The old man inspected them. Though his expression remained composed inwardly, he admired Wang Lin's decisiveness. He produced a jade slip of his own and recorded the third eye technique. Yet in his heart a trace of cunning stirred. He made subtle alterations, minor deviations that would plant hidden dangers for any who cultivated it blindly. He threw the jade to Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught it and examined it in silence. He compared its contents to the moment he had witnessed the third eye open. He even simulated its operation internally, tracing the flow of blood and origin energy. The flaws were obvious, but he did not expose them. Instead, he nodded faintly. Looking at the old man, Wang Lin felt a rare flicker of conscience. After all, he had profited greatly from this exchange. After a moment's hesitation, he said, "Fellow cultivator, it would be wise not to cultivate more than 100,000 strands of slaughter energy. Beyond that, there may be grave danger." With those words, he departed swiftly as though eager to leave. The old man stood stunned. He stared at the jade in his hand, lost in thought. Then without delay, he returned to the cultivation planet and entered closed-door cultivation. In 1 month, the Thunder Celestial Realm would open. He needed to strengthen himself. Meanwhile, Wang Lin rode the Thunder Beast through the stars, a strange smile tugging at his lips. "Trading 3 flawed spells for one that carries a hint of the third step," he murmured. "That may be a bit excessive indeed." He gazed at the jade slip, unable to suppress the glimmer in his eyes. The old man had treated it as an unusual inheritance, valuable but ordinary. Wang Lin saw something else entirely. Within that third eye technique lay a faint trace of returning to the origin, a whisper of the third step. Had he not glimpsed that realm before, he might never have recognized its potential. The mistake the old man planted did not concern him. Given time, he could mend it. That task was far simpler than repairing the hidden flaws embedded within the 3 spells he had traded away. The Thunder Beast tore across the starry sky, swift as lightning itself. Its destination, planet Ching. The cultivators there had finally breathed easy when the eccentric senior with peculiar tastes departed. Yet only months later that suffocating pressure descended. Once more he had returned. Within 5,000 kilometers of Hengyun Peak, the land became forbidden again. None dared approach. Back on his own cultivation planet, Wang Lin devoted himself to studying and correcting the third eye technique. Bit by bit, he refined it. Bit by bit, he learned to control it. More than half a month passed in the blink of an eye. On a day of flawless blue sky with gentle warmth, carried on a soft breeze, Wang Lin stood atop Hengyun Peak. In his palm rested the thunder furnace, no larger than his hand. Lightning coiled within it, crackling softly. Between his brows, a subtle slit appeared and vanished intermittently, radiating a faint red glow. He looked strange, unsettling. No one who saw him now would believe he walked a righteous path. The faint gap upon his forehead lent him a trace of something sinister, something ancient, all because of that eye. Without warning, thunderclouds gathered in the clear sky. One moment, azure stretched endlessly above. The next, dark clouds smothered it entirely. Thunder rumbled within them. The thunder furnace in Wang Lin's hand responded, lightning within it, growing violent. The clouds thickened. Then, a massive bolt of celestial thunder descended. It struck toward Wang Lin. He stared at it, eyes shimmering with strange light. He knew that if the thunder struck the furnace, it would open the path, guiding him through the void into the Thunder Celestial Realm. But at the final moment, he withdrew the thunder furnace. "This," he murmured softly, "watching the descending lightning is celestial thunder." The light in his eyes deepened into something unfathomable. What he did next had never been done, not in all the countless times the thunder celestial realm had opened since ancient days. Each time the thunder celestial realm opened, celestial thunder was born. That thunder served as a guide. Any cultivator who possessed a thunder furnace would be led by it, drawn across the void and delivered to the gates of the thunder celestial realm. As for why the heavens operated in such a manner, no one knew. It was as though the law had existed since the beginning of time. Some mighty cultivators had once sought the truth behind it, prying into the fabric of heaven itself. Yet no matter how deep they searched, no matter how vast their divine senses stretched, they found nothing. In the end, they stopped asking. All that mattered was this: with a thunder furnace, one could enter the thunder celestial realm. At that moment, just as Wang Lin withdrew the thunder furnace, the celestial thunder arrived. It had not yet struck, but its rumble rolled across the heavens heavy and majestic. A strange light flickered within Wang Lin's eyes. His origin soul began to revolve frantically. Thunder burst from his body, spreading outward, crackling through the air. In that instant, he resembled a sovereign of lightning, an existence born from storm and ruin. Then, the thunder descended. Wang Lin's body shot upward like a meteor. Without the slightest hesitation, he opened his mouth and devoured it. It was a magnificent, shocking sight. The moment the celestial thunder vanished into him, the wind shifted and the clouds churned violently. The world dimmed as though the light itself had been swallowed. The thunderous roar that once shook the sky turned into muffled explosions echoing from within Wang Lin's body. His body trembled violently. In that instant, he felt as though he had been struck by the fist of an ancient god. He fell from the sky like a severed kite crashing toward the earth. Thunder roared within him as he plummeted. When he struck the ground, a vast surge of lightning erupted outward. Within a 5-kilometer radius, a raging thunderstorm formed instantly. At the center lay only a massive crater. Inside it, Wang Lin's body convulsed as explosions reverberated from within. The violent force of the thunder drove him deeper into the earth. Lightning continuously discharged from his flesh, blinding and ferocious. His eyes were tightly shut. His origin soul was devouring the celestial thunder with desperate greed. The thunder origin spell activated on its own, extracting the origin energy hidden within the storm. The scene resembled the Thunder Lake in the asteroid field, only this time Wang Lin himself had become the lake. Above, thunder echoed within the clouds as if celestial majesty had been provoked. Gradually, the thunderclouds began to thin, their presence fading. The celestial thunder had descended, its purpose seemingly fulfilled. But deep within the crater, Wang Lin's eyes snapped open. Lightning blazed within them. And beneath that lightning, excitement. He licked his lips slowly. The origin energy within celestial thunder was unimaginably dense, several times richer than that of the Thunder Lake. Though he had already reached the limit his cultivation allowed, the excess origin energy had stirred something within him, loosening a barrier he once believed immovable. He rose in a flash, bursting from the crater. With a swift motion, he slapped his bag of holding. The thunder furnace reappeared in his hand. The moment it manifested, the dissipating thunderclouds froze. Then they condensed once more. Another bolt of celestial thunder gathered and descended. Wang Lin laughed and withdrew the thunder furnace again. Though the previous thunder had left every bone in his body aching, and his origin soul trembling at the brink of collapse, the reward had been too great to ignore. If any cultivator witnessed this scene, they would be struck speechless. Devouring celestial thunder. Madness. Pure madness. When the second bolt descended, Wang Lin hovered in mid-air, lightning swirling around him. Thunder roared from within his body in answer. He surged forward again and swallowed it whole. A deafening explosion shook the entire planet. Mountains trembled. Rivers quaked. This time, when he struck the earth, he immediately sat cross-legged, forcibly stabilizing himself. His body shook violently, cracks forming across his skin as lightning raged beneath it. There was no time. The thunderclouds were dissipating again, this time far more rapidly, as though wary of him. A green glow emerged above Wang Lin's head. Blue mist followed. His origin soul separated from his body. The moment it appeared, the thunder furnace flew from his bag of holding and was absorbed by the origin soul itself. Then it shot toward the clouds. The dispersing thunderclouds issued unwilling rumbles. They halted their retreat and condensed once more. But this time, they were furious. Almost all the thunder gathered into a single bolt, far more terrifying than the previous two. It descended with a heaven-splitting roar. As it fell, the entire mass of thunderclouds was sucked into it. From afar, it no longer resembled a bolt of lightning, but a colossal vortex of storm and destruction. The vortex spun wildly with the third bolt of celestial thunder blazing at its core. A roar echoed across planet Lling. Not a single cultivator dared extend divine sense. Mortals, merchants, tyrants, warriors who denied the existence of cultivators fell to their knees, trembling like devout believers before divine wrath. Wang Lin's origin soul hovered beneath the descending storm. He stared at it and could not help but smile bitterly. "It seems," he murmured, "I've gone too far." As the vortex thunder crashed downward, his origin soul elongated, transforming, becoming strikingly similar to the ancient thunder dragon. With a deafening roar, it lunged upward and devoured the celestial thunder. But only half. Then it retreated instantly. The remaining thunder roared in fury and chased after him. His origin soul streaked downward at astonishing speed. He cast the thunder furnace outward, then re-entered his physical body in a flash. His eyes opened. His right hand seized the furnace. The pursuing thunder seemed to howl with reluctant rage as it slammed into the thunder furnace. The massive vortex followed, crashing into it as well. The furnace flashed violently. The intensity numbed Wang Lin's hand far more than any lightning he had ever grasped. The vortex spun above it, absorbing everything in its path. From a distance, it appeared as though the furnace sought to swallow the world itself. In the blink of an eye, the colossal vortex was drawn entirely into the thunder furnace. Crackling sounds erupted. A crack appeared on its surface. For the first time since the thunder celestial realm had ever opened, a thunder furnace cracked. Across countless ages, their number had never changed. They could not be destroyed nor lost. Each time the realm opened, they emerged from the void, and when it closed, they returned. Always the same number. But now, that eternal balance wavered. Wang Lin's bitter smile deepened. This truly may be a disaster. More cracks spread across the furnace. Then, it shattered. A thunderous explosion resounded through heaven and earth, forming a colossal storm across Lling. The furnace broke into countless fragments, lightning threading between them. Wang Lin exhaled in relief. As long as the fragments remained, perhaps it could be repaired. But in the next breath, the fragments crumbled. They disintegrated into dust. This was the first thunder furnace to collapse since the dawn of the thunder celestial realm. From this day forward, no matter how many times the realm opened, there would be one furnace fewer, one entry lost for eternity. No one knew what consequences would follow. Thunder furnaces were considered indestructible. Even second-step cultivators would find it nearly impossible to destroy one and would gain nothing by trying. And yet, Wang Lin had done it. The moment the furnace disintegrated, all the thunder it had absorbed erupted outward. An unimaginable torrent of lightning engulfed Wang Lin. It seized him, dragging him skyward at a speed so terrifying it seemed intent on tearing his body apart. Ordinary cultivators, guided gently by intact thunder furnaces, traveled steadily toward the celestial gate. But Wang Lin's furnace had devoured the entire thundercloud and shattered. Naturally, his speed was several times greater. In an instant, the violent thunder pierced through the void itself and vanished, carrying Wang Lin with it. The velocity defied description. Time seemed to collapse. Space warped into blurred streaks he could not comprehend. This was no ordinary void. He could not even glimpse his surroundings before they vanished. Meanwhile, along the path toward the thunder celestial realm, Countless cultivators from the all-heaven star system were being drawn steadily forward by their thunder, furnaces calmly guided toward the celestial gate where they would wait for it to open. None of them knew that ahead of them, like a bolt of divine punishment tearing through fate itself, Wang Lin was coming. If you loved this story, please consider supporting us through the donation below description. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the best and most immersive video. We truly appreciate you being here with us.